Okay.
Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Daily Herald here on Badlands Media. I am your host, Jon Herold, and I hope you're all having a great day so far. Weird weather, always got to start awkward talk with the weather. It's been like snowing up here, right? Lots of snow. And today it got kind of warm, like 40s, and it started raining. So the roads were a disaster. And then tomorrow it's supposed to be like freezing again. And so all the rain that we're getting today, or that we've gotten today, is going to freeze, and it's going to be a shit show up in here. So just so y'all know what's going on in my neck of the woods. How's the weather, everybody else? I'm a little concerned. We're going to Kansas this weekend, which, by the way, if you're in the Kansas area, going to be going to a meetup. I'm going to be emceeing an event. Let me get these pulled up here. So first of all, the event I'm emceeing is this one, being put on by Kansas Reckoning. Where's it at? Here we go. Saturday, December 13th, from 2 to 5 at Overland Park. Kesh will be there. Matt Gates going to be there. Pastor Lorenzo Sewell is going to be there. Tickets $50, $200 for a VIP meet and photo with Matt Gates. My VIP meet and photo is free. Just throwing it out there. It's not VIP, but whatever, it's free. But also Sunday, we're going to do a little meetup. And where's that at? Right here. The Mocan Badlanders meetup. This, December 14th from 12 to 3, Overland Park. You have to reach out to Mocan Badlanders at protonmail.me or Lynn Yoda on Telegram, and she will provide you the details. You keep the riffraff out. Post it publicly, you never know what's going to happen. Today's show, we're going to talk a little bit about the NDAA, a couple more things that are in there. There's two competing versions now, so we'll go through that. A couple interview clips from Trump. He was on with some gal from Politico, and I don't know, I thought it was a pretty good interview for the most part. He said a couple things about election fraud, talks about Zelensky, Europe. We'll talk about it, and then a couple news stories. We'll see what happens. And as usual, I will be engaging with you guys in the chat. So if you got anything interesting you want me to look at or whatever, anything you got to say, just let me know. But let's get a quick word from our sponsors. First up, we got My Shroom Vibe.
Hey there, Earthlings. I'm here on the streets of New York to tell you about something that's literally out of this world. You know, traveling between dimensions really takes it out of you. But I've found the perfect solution. My Shroom Vibe can now be your Shroom Vibe. Elevate your frequency. Get microdose capsules, gummies, and chocolate bars at myshroomvibe.com. Use code BADLANDS for 10% off your order. Trust me, galaxy hopping demands balance, and ours comes from Mother Nature. Organic, not synthetic. It's the real deal. Psy Lee, if you know what I mean. Check it out. Your frequency will thank you. Visit myshroomvibe.com. Organic goodness, not synthetic. Use code BADLANDS.
I don't know what Siley means. Still haven't figured that out, but I will say I do like their focus one. Take one of these every day now. I feel focused. Probably don't take enough to actually do anything, but I'm doing it because they're a sponsor. And I like supporting America First businesses. Speaking of America First businesses, I got two more for you. First up, Scales Gear. These guys are fantastic. Scales Freedom Collection is where the open ocean meets the red, white, and blue seas we call home. Inspired by salt air, tight lines, and the rhythm of the tide and waves, this collection channels the spirit of freedom through the lens of a waterman's lifestyle. From long-sleeve performance shirts built for the elements to butter-soft tees and hats adorned with bold, ocean-inspired Americana prints, every piece is designed to keep you cool, protected, and connected to the water that sets us free. From weed lines to tree lines, we love our freedom. Shop now at badlandsmedia.tv/scales. Enter the code Badlands at checkout for 20% off your next purchase. And I'll get to our soft disclosure, us, here in a little bit. Let's start plugging away. Unless you guys in the chat got anything. Are they made with space dust? I don't know for sure. Can't guarantee that. I share Matt Ehret's disdain for this ad. It's an interesting one. Definitely grabs your attention. Did you see McDonald's made an entire ad out of AI? Pretty sure I saw that on my feed this morning. Let me see if I can find that. Yeah, here we go. McDonald's has released an AI-generated Christmas ad. Let's watch it.
It's the most terrible time of the year. All the shops turn to mayhem, even Santa makes space, and the tree redecorated your place. It's the most terrible time of the year. The roast turned to charcoal, and the cookies burn too. Friggin' chaos, it feels like a zoo. It's the most terrible time of the year. So you flee from the madness, the lights, and the cheer, and hide out in McDonald's till January's here. It's the most terrible.
Sorry. Was that loud for you guys? Because it was loud for me. Oh, thanks, Cam. I do have a haircut. Yeah, it's not going to be long until this is the type of stuff that replaces all commercials, and then eventually it'll replace all movies and entertainment. Maybe not all, but a good chunk of it. That's coming. So prepare. AI can be fun, man. I've been playing with AI more and more. John, did your pack drive? Yes, it did. Shoot. Hey, Cece, if you're watching, she might be napping. I don't know. If you're watching, can you bring me that blanket when you get a chance? Not that I needed another excuse besides the taste of food and the instant regret after eating there. No kidding. No kidding. I saw somebody say Patrick Byrne announced he is CIA. I thought we knew that. Didn't we already know that he worked at the CIA and he was trying to like entrap the Clintons or something, gave him a bribe. I could be wrong, but let me see if I can find. Oh, there's this. In today's roll early, roll often news, Venezuela General Number 2 confirms V equals state-sponsored narco-terrorism, Smartmatic rigs elections in V, Venezuela, USA, others. Trende Aragua reports to Jorge and Delcy Rodriguez. Then Iran, IRGC plus Hezbollah plus China equals puppeteers of V, English and Espanol. Okay, well, if Iran, Hezbollah, and China are the puppeteers of Venezuela, then wouldn't they be the ones behind the election stuff? NB, remember that earlier this year, John Ratcliffe, CIA, tried to convince Congress that Trende Aragua was unconnected to the Venezuelan government. His wording was so sly. Tulsi stood tallish and informed Congress that the FBI had different opinion. Someone please post that clip. Should we watch this? Sorry, I'm like on a tangent. This is not anything I was planning on covering. Do you go to the I will go to the PO box. I have to go to the bank after this, so I may just swing by. He has claimed he was used by the CIA via the FBI. Claims that Brennan took over the FBI via an obscure law. Hello, John of the gang. Hey, Bravest. Byrne claims he arranged an $18 million bribe for Hillary in 2016 through a cutout. He also claims he was a U.S. government agent of sorts. Not sure CIA. Do you guys want me to like go down this rabbit hole a little bit? Want to join me as I go through this? I want to watch this clip.
The Venezuelan government has dispatched Trende Aragua, this gang, to come into the United States and commit mayhem. And one of the things that was leaked from someone in the intel community was that didn't happen. There is no official link between the Venezuelan government and Trende Aragua. Therefore, it's not an incursion. It's not an invasion. It's a very clear why somebody would leak that to try to undermine the president's use of the Alien Enemies Act. Is that one of the leaks being investigated?
It is being investigated. there's a few things to add to that to kind of color out the picture. One of the most often tactics that these leakers use is they will take, let's say it's a 6-page top secret classified document, and they will pull a line from page 1 and a line from page 2 and a line from page 3 that when put together supports the narrative that they are trying to push, but is not at all reflective of the kind of conclusive analysis in that report. And that's exactly what happened in this case. So they very selectively and intentionally left out what was really the most important thing, which was that the FBI very clearly is the intelligence element that is responsible for domestic security. So it shouldn't be a surprise then that they are the element that said, yes, the Maduro Venezuelan government is supporting Tren de Aragua and their criminal activities here, enabled by President Biden's 4 years of open borders, where they very freely came in and out of our country and were able to begin to control territory here in the United States.
So there's that. This is the story, the link he shared. And I don't know if I agree with his framing of this. CIA Director, no assessment, U.S. at war with Venezuela amid use of Alien Enemies Act. CIA Director John Ratcliffe said the agency has no assessment that the U.S. is at war with Venezuela, a comment that comes as President Trump has invoked the war powers to deport migrants from the country. And this is what he said, Patrick Byrne. Remember that earlier this year, John Ratcliffe tried to convince Congress that Tren de Aragua was unconnected to the Venezuelan government. His wording was so sly. I'm trying to find the actual transcript, but the link that he shared, or that this person shared, I guess, never mind, this person. I mean, that's not talking about Tren de Aragua. He's talking about Venezuela itself, which at the time, and maybe even still currently, we weren't at war with. John won't be able to carry anything but the money from the bank. Too heavy. Guys, I wish. I know I like to joke about it. Yes, I am chasing squirrels again. Trump said in an interview that in a couple months we will see the stall or steal. Yeah, I do have that clip too. Let me pull that up, because this is a great clip. Again, from that interview this morning. Totally out of sorts now already. You guys are throwing me off, but that's okay. Here's the clip.
You got to think of it. If our election wasn't rigged, it was a rigged election. Now everyone knows it. It's going to come out over the next couple of months too, loud and clear, because we have all the information.
Next couple of months. We've been waiting for that. We've been waiting for election fraud exposure. It would be great if we could actually get some of that. I want some of that. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do have something on elections here. 40, that's no update on the Doge website, no update on the presidential website, no new NSPMs. I've just been looking for more documents to read, right? But this is, I think, a biggie-ish. So yesterday when I was going through the new congressional NDAA or whatever, that was the Senate version. The Senate passed one. It's been at the House. They've been like adding stuff, their own version. They actually took out the road housing thing, which I think is great. I still think the bill's too long. They took out the road thing, which added like a whole bunch of different acts. It was 28 acts within one act to address housing in a defense spending bill. You guys remember me talking about this yesterday. That's gone, but now the document is somehow still more pages, which doesn't make sense. So I haven't found everything they've added, but I did find this morning. Requiring penetration testing as part of the testing and certification of voting systems. Section 231 of the Help America Vote Act of 2002 is amended by adding required penetration testing in general not later than 180 days after the date of the enactment of this subsection. The Commission shall provide for the conduct of penetration testing as part of the testing, certification, decertification, and recertification of voting system hardware and software by the Commission based on accredited laboratories under this section. And then the Commission shall develop a program for the acceptance of the results of penetration testing on election systems. The penetration testing required by this subsection shall be required for the Commission certification. The Commission shall vote on the selection of any entity identified. The requirements for such selection shall be based on consideration of an entity's competence, to conduct penetration testing under the subsection, the Commission may consult with the National Institute of Standards and Technology for any other appropriate federal agency on lab selection criteria and other aspects of this program. Now, this is the thing that, I mean, this is cool if it exposes election fraud. But again, red herring. They're going to be like, oh, see, we put penetration testing in, so now we can trust these machines. We cannot trust our machines, period. And this is a half measure of a half measure to keep us in the fraudulent election system. So I think this is stupid. Like, it's cool. And Trump is saying we're going to get election fraud exposure. Would love to see it. Allowing them to get away with this. Like, okay, we're going to expose election fraud. Awesome. 2020 was stolen. Elections have been stolen for a long time. We cannot trust our election machines. The answer to that problem, the solution to that problem, is getting away from using election machines. It's not to create a new test, probably done by a computer, to test the machines to make sure that we can trust them. That is bogus. Can't allow it. There's a couple, let's see here. Bayoff's Dick. John, Congress should limit the number of pages of all bills to 100 and should be single issue, not a hodgepodge. Totally agree. Polymathon. Hard to trust a half penetration. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Typically, you don't want any penetration. I mean, I guess depends on what stage of the election cycle you're in. But half penetration, not a good idea. We got to be able to pull out of these election systems at some point. Silver to the moon. Yeah, silver's going up. Good to see you, Tracy. Thumbs up, He-Man. Good to see you, man. We're just balls deep, says Polymathon. Funny. Has John done any penetration testing for soft disclosure? You know, we've done some penetration testing. We've not quite, you know, we want to be careful. We don't want to go too far too quickly. You know, we don't want to run out of basically our stock. You know, don't want to blow our load too early. So we're being careful and we're really just trying to saturate our current market. But eventually we will, you know, fully penetrate test everything. Just the tip, I promise. You guys are terrible. You guys are bad influences. So stop it. Stop it. What else? There's one more thing in this bill I wanted to. Oh, yeah. Congress is requiring Pete Hegseth. They're going to like cut his budget unless he provides the House of Representatives and the Senate unedited video of strikes conducted against designated terrorist organizations in the area of responsibility of the United States Southern Command. And I think they're going to cut his, travel? Yeah, limitation on availability of funds for travel expenses of the Office of the Secretary of Defense. And this is wrong anyway. It should be Secretary of War. Of the funds authorized to be appropriated by this act or otherwise made available for fiscal year 2026 for the operation and maintenance defense-wide and available for the Office of the Secretary of Defense for travel expenses, not more than 75% may be obligated or expended until the Secretary of Defense submits to the Congressional Defense Committees any overdue quarterly reports regarding execute orders of the Department of Defense required by Section 1744 of the National Defense Authorization Fiscal Act for year 2020, submits to the Congressional Defense Committees a certification that the Department of Defense is compliant with the requirements of that Section 1067. Yeah, I mean, they're basically like trying to blackmail him. Like, we're going to cut your travel budget unless you provide us with all these things. Do you think that's appropriate for a fiscal authorization bill? I don't think so. But I mean, they can try whatever they want. Wonder if it's going to be like invalid anyway because it's Department of War, not Department of Defense. They didn't use Department of War for any of this. Now that I think about it. That's funny. But yeah, there's you know, I think I talked yesterday about the COVID thing. There hasn't been anything else that I've found yet that's like really jumping out at me other than the fact that a 3,000 page bill is stupid. I feel like they're obviously going to be sneaking a whole bunch of stuff in here. Oh, there was this. What section was it? It was Jason Lowry. So I mentioned yesterday, I think, that there was wasn't really anything having to do with crypto in the Senate bill, but the House bill here has something fairly interesting. Check this out. What section was that? Section 1543. Study on reducing incentives for cyber attacks on defense critical infrastructure of the United States. In general, the Secretary of Defense, acting through the Undersecretary of Defense for Policy and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and in consultation with the appropriate federal entity, shall conduct a study on the use of military capabilities to increase the costs of and consequently reduce the incentives of adversaries for targeting defense critical infrastructure in cyberspace. Guys, he's talking about Bitcoin here. This is the thesis of soft war. Like, the study that they're going to need to do is just like hand them the software book. The study shall include the following: an assessment of the cyber capabilities and intent of adversaries regarding attacks against defense critical infrastructure, an identification of the cyber capabilities of adversaries upon which the use of military capabilities considered by such study would seek to impose costs, a classification and prioritization of objectives that are relevant to the military to impose costs, on and on and on. Like this, they're talking about Bitcoin and the entire software thesis. It's dasting. Spetzel, we need a Badlanders cooperative to divide and conquer these bills. Different people take different sections. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I typically do these myself. It's just really hard because like this isn't even technically the final bill. Like yesterday I was digging in and like what is going on with this housing thing. And then today the bill that's the latest version or whatever that's all been taken out. So I kind of wasted some time. There'd be a lot of that. But I'm down. If somebody wants to put together a little thing and we tackle it one item at a time or a couple of 100 pages at a time, I think that'd be it wouldn't be a total waste. We have proven in the past that we can stop these people from passing things once they get exposed. But half the time they don't care. So anyway, there's that. If I think of anything else, maybe at the end we can come back around. Single line bills, fuck Mike Johnson. Totally agree. Bravest volunteers to be part of it. Hey, Jon Herold, it's not our job to read this horseshit. It's all illegitimate. I totally agree with you. I'm not saying these people are legitimate whatsoever. But I think it's worthwhile to expose what these people try to do. And maybe I'm a little more aggressive when it comes to these things. Well, one, we haven't had like declassified documents for me to go through. So in terms of documents to read, there's not much out there. But two, I keep going back to December of this last year when they were trying to pass what was it? It wasn't a spending bill. I think it was a continuing resolution. And they tried to pass through like a 1,500 page thing. And I read through the bill. I found like 2 or 3 things that ended up going viral because they got stolen and shared by like Benny Johnson and them. Ended up making it to like Fox News even. They were talking about it. And they ended up coming back and not putting that bill through. They put through like a 100-page bill or something. Now, maybe that was the plan all along, and it didn't matter, whether we exposed it. I choose not to believe that. I choose that we played a role in it, and it is possible that we can get these people to change course. We just got to find the really egregious stuff that's in here that shouldn't be. It takes some work. But yes, totally agree. These people are not legitimate in the slightest. Did you waste time or did you expose it and get it removed? I would love to say that it was because of me, but I feel like it was too quick of a turnaround. Terms and page limits and real elections. A lot of stuff. Things will get nuts in January and will get bigger and bigger through November. I don't know. We're already being told that we're not going to win the midterms. Like it's already settled. Candace Owens and Tim Pool ruined it for us. Plus a million other reasons. So why bother? Why bother? But when it comes time for the midterms, I expect them to be blamed. 100%. Because I got blamed for the 2022 midterms by people in our community. People are so dumb. I agree. It's our job to read this stuff. Yeah, I know it's difficult to like hold these. We can't hold these people accountable. Really, you know what I mean? Our elections being fake prevent us from actually holding any of these elected illegitimate people accountable. But what we can do is they're social media influencers. All of these people, they care about their social status. They care about their clicks. They care about that side of things. So if we can't actually inflict damage and hold them accountable with voting, we can try to, disincentivize bad behavior by imposing costs on social media, by calling them out for this stuff. I guess that's the way I look at it. And, social media being dumb and controlled and the algorithms, that could potentially be a waste of time too. I don't know. But I'm not just going to sit here on my hands and do nothing. Let's see if there's anything else in this. I think I'm just going to move past it, and let's look at some of Trump's clips from his interview this morning. So I thought it was pretty good. He's talking about Zelensky a little bit.
He rejects this deal. Is there a time Zelensky rejects this deal?
Yeah.
Like, is there a timeline? Is there a point at which you say, okay,
Well, he's going to have to get on the ball and start accepting things. When you're losing, because you're losing.
do you think Ukraine has lost this war?
Well, they've lost territory long before I got here. They lost the whole strip of seafront, big seafront. You look at the maps. I've been here for 10 months, but you go back 10 months and take a look. They lost that whole strip. It's now a bigger strip. It's a wider strip, but they lost a lot of land, and it's very good land too that they lost. You certainly wouldn't say it's a victory. I could show you a chart. It's a lot of land they lost.
Zelensky rejects this deal.
Yeah.
Like, is there
So there's that. This one, he's talking about Europe. We're going to get to a great comment by him here, calling Zelensky P.T. Barnum. I think that's super interesting.
Europe I'm friendly with all of them.
Now, remember, this is on the heels of Trump's national security strategy, which was very critical of the European Union and basically saying, I don't think they're going to be recognizable in 20 years. So how can I even say they're going to be our allies in 20 years? People are freaking out about that. People are still freaking out about the national security strategy. I think it's one of the better things the Trump administration, either one of them, has put out. It's so worthwhile to read that thing.
I like all of them. I have no real enemy. I've had a couple that I didn't like over the years. I actually like the current crew. I like them a lot. But and I know them very well. I know them really well. Some are friends, some are okay. I know the good leaders. I know the bad leaders. I know the smart ones. I know the stupid ones. You get some real stupid ones too. But they're not doing a good job. Europe is not doing a good job in many ways. They're not doing a good job.
I want to ask
They
you
talk
about
too
that.
much, and they're not producing. We're talking about Ukraine. They talk, but they don't produce. And the war just keeps going on and on. 4 years now it's been going on, long before I got here. Europe I'm friendly with.
There's that. And then here he's talking about wants to run the United States.
So how involved are you going to get? Could we see you getting involved in European
I want to run
elections,
the
for
United
example?
States. I don't want to run Europe. I'm involved in Europe very much.
Might you endorse
NATO
candidates?
calls me daddy. I have a lot to say about it. Look, I raised
NATO calls me daddy.
GDP from 2% to 5%. The 2% they weren't paying and the 5% they are paying. And they're paying it because when we send things over, NATO pays for it, and I assume they give it to Ukraine. But Europe is being destroyed.
So how involved are
And then this is so good.
He's a great salesman. I call him PT.
And then I'll comment on this one particularly.
He's a great salesman. I call him P.T. Barnum. You know who P.T. Barnum was, right?
I do.
One of the greatest on earth. He could sell any product at any time. That was his expression. I can sell any product at any time. It was true. He said, doesn't matter whether it works or not. But he's P.T. Barnum. He got crooked Joe Biden to give him $350 billion. And look what it got. It got him about 25% of his country is missing. He's a great salesman. I call him P.T. Barnum.
P.T. Barnum. So P.T. Barnum is an interesting thing to call Zelensky because he was like a circus. He's the guy who created the circus, The Greatest Show on Earth. He was famous for elaborate hoaxes, museums. He's got a bunch of great quotes. And one of my favorites, I think, and Ash, I don't know if she posted this publicly or not, but she put it in our private chat. This is a quote from P.T. Barnum. The public appears disposed to be amused even when they are conscious of being deceived. And I think this is so fitting for the Great Awakening and everything we're going through. People enjoy being entertained even if they are fully aware that this thing that's, supposedly entertaining them is fake. They think of WWE wrestling or whatever. People go watch that, spend money to go watch that stuff, even though they know it's all fake. Think of our movies, all of our entertainment, anything. Just because something's fake doesn't ruin the fun or the people who enjoy it. And people will just go along with it. And that's kind of like how a lot of people interact with the news cycle, especially like in our community who are like super tuned in to the day-to-day stuff. I mean, tuned in is maybe not the right way to say that, but they try to pay attention to everything going on all the time. Chasing the squirrels, right? You could just stop chasing squirrels altogether. But they do it anyway. And most of the people know that the stuff that they're consuming is fake. That's the thing. And there's also some complicity in there. And this is what I think, Chris Paul has alluded to. We've talked about this stuff. We talk about the morality of the psyops, right? Like, we don't want to live in forever psyops. And if the good guys are continuing to lie to us, even if it's for benevolent reasons, but does it really make them any better than the bad guys lying to us? If we recognize that these people are lying to us and continue to go along with it and not just basically say no and remove ourselves from the situation, stop watching, we're complicit in what they're doing. There's complicity between the people telling the lie and us accepting the lie and continuing to go on with the lie and move on to the next lie, from lie to lie to lie, because nobody's stopping the chain. If they're not going to stop it, it's on us to stop it. Yes, it's just, this is such an interesting quote, and the fact that Trump used it. People don't always want the truth. They'd rather be stuck in the matrix, even if they know that they're in the matrix. It's just very interesting. No man ever went broke underestimating the ignorance of the American public. A lie is a lie no matter how you spin it. I agree with you, Drifter's Life. There are people who justify the psyops from the good guys. And I understand the point they're trying to make, you got to break people free of this stuff. But sometimes I don't know if I can't tell if they're trying to break us free or if they're trying to just move us from the bad guy psyops to the good guy psyops. But this is a very interesting quote from Trump. Plus, I saw somebody say clown show. That's very fitting for Zelensky as well. This whole thing is a clown show. But yeah, it's one thing to recognize that, everything we're engaging with is fake. That's step one. But then what do you do once you recognize that? Keep going back for more? Keep getting emotionally manipulated by the news cycle every day? Screaming into the void like Tim Pool because Candace Owens, I don't even know, said something? I don't follow either of those two. And maybe that's a sign that you have overcome the clown show, is you no longer let the news emotionally manipulate you. No matter how stupid or hard it gets, you can't be rugged. You're unruggable. Some people are definitely afraid of facing truth. Yep. In the clip where John stopped, did he say Biden and he got him in the same sentence? He being Zelensky? Yeah, I think he's implying that Zelensky, greatest salesman, even though I think he's a great showman, but salesman, you'd have to be a great salesman to sell a circus to people anyway, but he's saying that he got Biden to give him a lot of money. We can't know without knowing what Trump knows. That's true. Without promotion, something terrible happens. Nothing. Interesting. Yeah, he's got a lot of interesting quotes. I wonder if I could find more. I bet I can find more. Hold for processing. The noblest art is that of making people happy. No one ever made a difference by being like everyone else. Some of these are a little too motivational. I want some ones that make me think. Comfort is the enemy of progress. I don't care what newspapers say about me as long as they spell my name right. I feel the same way, except when it comes to lawsuits. Couldn't even spell my name right in the lawsuit. It's crazy. The best kind of charity is to help those who are willing to help themselves. I mean, some of these are good quotes. Some of these are dumb, or don't interest me. Advertising is to a genuine article what manure is to land. It largely increases the product. Anyway, okay. That was not as fun as I thought it would be. Try No P also talked about the 2020 election proof. What are you talking about? Phil, good to see you, man. Search famous Tim Pool quotes. There are 2. Is there? John, can you replay that again? Yeah, I'll play the video again one more time. This is fairly short. So it was like 95% of that money that we gave them. They do talk about Venezuela a little bit, which is interesting. Oh, did I not share the screen? I'm so sorry, guys. It's a Tuesday, but it feels like a Monday. Let me try this again.
He's a great salesman. I call him P.T. Barnum. You know who P.T. Barnum was, right?
I do.
One of the greatest on earth. He could sell any product at any time. That was his expression. I can sell any product at any time. It was true. He said, doesn't matter whether it works or not. But he's P.T. Barnum. You know, he got crooked Joe Biden to give him $350 billion. And look what it got. It got him about 25% of his country is missing.
There you go. Here's the Venezuela part.
How far would you go to take Maduro out of office?
I don't want to say that,
But you want to see him out?
his days are numbered.
His days are numbered. Was there anything else? Here we go. This is a good one.
One of the people that survived, but they weaponized the government. We had the most weaponized government. Our election was rigged. They went after me. I was impeached twice. I was indicted. They indicted me. I came out good. Here we are in the White House. Things are looking nice, but they were vicious, and they are vicious. They're sick people. I'm one of the people that survived.
Sick people. Kash Patel did confirm, there's a big investigation going on to the Arctic frost. I hope it's bigger than that, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's all the clips I think I wanted to share of that. Tim Pool needs a hug. Agreed. 22 more minutes of watching John drink coffee. Yeah, my bad, guys. Hey, I'm not perfect. Never claimed to be. Sometimes I forget to play the screen. Happens. What is going on? That's not working. Okay, let's there's a couple of news stories I want to go through. The judge has officially cleared the DOJ to release Maxwell Epstein investigative records under new transparency law. Federal judge ruled Tuesday that the Justice Department may publicly release investigative materials from the sex trafficking case against Ghislaine Maxwell following the department's November request to unseal grand jury transcripts, exhibits, and related records from the Maxwell and Epstein case. Judge Engelmeyer order follows passage of the Epstein Files Transparency Act. I'm curious to see how many come out. I don't expect there to be the slam dunk stuff that everybody's hoping for. We'll see what happens. I'm not really going to comment more on that. Qatar, U.S. signed new agreements to expand security cooperation. Qatar's Minister of the Interior announced that FBI Director Kash Patel was received for official meetings during which 2 memorandum of understanding were signed to strengthen bilateral security cooperation between Qatar and the United States. The agreements focus on expanding collaboration in training, information exchange, capacity building in line with directives issued by the Emir of Qatar. Officials said the move reflects the depth of the strategic partnership between the two countries and will support joint efforts to enhance security planning ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm most interested in the information exchange aspect of this because we know there's these, or we're being led to believe that there's these bigger investigations going on behind the scenes. Okay. If that's true, and, what is there anything that Qatar might have that could further, prove the guilt of some of these people? That's what I'm looking to see. The timing of this is interesting. Tucker Carlson was just in Qatar and said he's buying property there and everybody's freaking out about it. I think that's funny. Mike Irons, I have a great quote. It's from my wife soon after we started dating. She looked at me with all the seriousness in the world and said, "Will you go real fast?" Oh my gosh. I'm not going to read that, Mike. But that's funny. P.T. Barnum published a book in 1880 called The Art of Money Getting. Fitting. That is interesting. Is there a good twin in Qatar? Yeah, I think there's a good twin and evil twin in every country. And I think right now the good twin is at the head of Qatar. I could be wrong, but DC Police Chief Pamela Smith has resigned as the DOJ probes crime data. So she's probably guilty of something. Washington, D.C. Police Chief Pamela Smith announced her resignation Monday after 2.5 years on the job, departing under pressure following the Trump administration's federal takeover of the Metropolitan Police Department and expanded federal law enforcement presence in the city. There comes a time when you just know it's time, Smith told Axios. Wonder what's going to come out there. Alina Habba, I think I talked about this yesterday. She steps down as the U.S. Attorney for New Jersey. She is this loophole or whatever this is that these judges are preventing Trump from putting people that he wants in as U.S. attorneys. It needs to be addressed in a pretty big way, and I think it will be. But we'll see where it goes. FBI Director Kash Patel confirms criminal probe into Arctic frost investigation targeting Trump and allies. He confirmed that a criminal investigation is underway into federal personnel involved in the Arctic frost probe, which targeted allies of President Trump. Again, I really hope that this is just part of the bigger Rico Grande thing. And this would be the one that needs the most investigation at this point, right? I mean, you look at what happened with Russiagate. That was pretty well investigated. There's probably stuff before that needed investigating. There's stuff from, the COVID era and the election theft that needs investigating. Some of it they probably already have. But it's the more recent stuff when Biden was in office, put that in quotes, that would need the most heavy amount of legwork moving forward. So it makes sense. I just really hope that this is tied to the rest of it because it is all connected. We've talked about that a million times. There's a couple stories on CNN. I'm not even going to read them, but their big focus right now is the economy and why everything feels unaffordable, even though, technically this is going up and technically this is going up and technically inflation is coming down. So why does everything feel unaffordable? Some narrative warfare going on there. What else? I may not have much else. Trump officials moved to end student loan repayment for millions of borrowers. Yeah, I think that's all I got, guys. So anything you guys want to talk about? I think I had a couple rants here. Lee Walden says, John, unfortunately, I don't know how to enter link to chat. Laura Logan interview with Dr. Tim Schneider. I believe you'll appreciate what's going on. Thanks, pal. Thank you, Lee. I will check that out. Joe Gilmore says he will defend Alina Habba to death. Keith Higgins, I hope some of that confiscated P. Diddy baby oil is used in the penetration testing. I'd like to help read bills. How do we connect if you'd be interested? I don't know the best way to do that. Somebody's got to set that up. Maybe I can start a Telegram group or something. I'm pretty hit or miss when I do it. Like when I go through this stuff, like I don't just sit down like for the next 2 hours. I'm going to read through a bill. I have a million things that come up all the time. So I kind of just go through it as I can. Let's see if there's anything else on Twitter interesting. Don't want to leave you guys out too early. Nothing really new. Tim Pool blasts Candace Owens over Charlie Kirk conspiracy claims. We could just watch these people freak out at each other. I haven't actually seen this clip yet. I just heard it's happening. So let me play this. A little bit of it anyway.
Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag.
Oh, wow.
She is a degenerate cunt.
Oh, my gosh.
She is burning everything down, and she's
Jeez.
gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages.
Wow. That is, I mean, before I even go on, that's nuts. So you know how earlier I was talking about if you find yourself not emotionally responding to the news cycle and stuff, that's how you know you're in like a good headspace. You're properly navigating the info war. I feel like he may be failing that. He's a little emotional here. Key Awakening. Spitballers is a disaster and should be restarted, just my opinion. Yeah, if I'm being honest, like that was a group I started with my Substack, and I really don't even go in there anymore. I don't even go in like some of the Badlands GART chats just because my time is so limited. But I do want to get better at that. So maybe it's just the GART chat. We can coordinate something in there. Yeah, he is not happy. If you're completely irrational on your live stream, it must be Candace's fault. Yeah, Tim's clips do not count for the swear jar. For my swear jar. He should have his own. Look how mad he is over Candace Owens questioning things. I feel like this whole thing is some sort of controlled oppo dynamic, but let's listen a little more. See what else he yells about.
Have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me like I did something for you as you fucking cower, scared that she'll put you on her thumbnail and claim you benefited from Charlie Kirk's assassination, which he's doing to me right fucking now.
Yeah, that was
I'm fucking done with these people.
She has security, just not on the level of you.
Oh, yeah, the one fat guy you mentioned with no wall and no barrier in a suburban neighborhood with neighbors. She doesn't give two fucking shits. No one's out for her. She's lying about all of this. You told me you went to her house and she's got a 4-foot wall.
Tim Pool sent somebody to Candace Owens' house? Oh, a pissing match over security? So weird. I still don't believe his story from over the weekend where he said shots were fired. I mean, if you're going to claim something like that, I mean, I would show evidence. If somebody like came to my house and whatever, tried to do something dumb, like some sort of security breach, they got past my security or tried to whatever, I wouldn't talk about that at all publicly. I would go straight to the authorities. That's it. I wouldn't talk about it publicly until the matter was resolved. They've done an investigation. They figured out who it was, and they were like behind bars. And then eventually, if I ever even did talk about it, because I feel like talking about it, just you're literally just trying to draw more attention to yourself and the situation, which would spark more of it. But if I ever did talk about it, I would show vast amounts of evidence. Actually, you know, one time there was a situation where my kids were upstairs sleeping. I was in my office and I hear like this banging on the door, and like I was like at night, and I go and look. And nobody's there. Like I had my gun, like just what's going on. And then I pulled up my camera out front, and it was like some kid, or looked like a kid, like playing ding dong ditch. He knocked on the door and sprinted away. I should have said somebody tried to like attack my house. That's what I should have done for the attention. But it's weird that he sent somebody to Candace Owens' house. What are you doing? This whole thing's dumb.
And one fat guy, and she doesn't give a shit about our security. Meanwhile, I get bullets fired at my fucking property, and I have to go live in the middle of nowhere. And I got fucking strangers coming up to my house in Maryland, breaking in. I got people showing up and beating up the residents who trying to live there. How the fuck am I even supposed to sell this property? And you know, it's all lies. It's all hypocrisy, and it is for the purpose of making money. And she does not live the way other people live. And she claims she liked Charlie, she loved Charlie, and she.
I can't do it anymore. Shannon in Man. I don't know where Man is, but let's talk about getting someone in Senate we can trust in Judiciary Committee chair position in 2026. Get Grassley out. So here's the thing: I don't put any stock in any of that, because our elections are fake, fraudulent. Like how are we going to affect that? We're going to have a bunch of illegitimate people selecting who's in charge of the Judiciary Committee. It's also dumb. It's called ring and run, not ding dong ditch. No, it's ding dong ditch. Because my doorbell goes ding dong. It doesn't go ring. It goes ding dong. You should claim squirrels are breaking into your house at night and terrorizing you. Well, that's why I did that post on, I don't even know, Sunday. It was like I was woken up at 2 a.m. to shots fired inside my house. It was just my son my son didn't actually do that. That was a joke. Like the Nerf gun thing. He didn't actually shoot me in the middle of the night with Nerf guns. But that was as believable as a story as Tim's was so far. And if it turns out that it happened, great. But he's a liar. So why would I believe him? So why even bother voting? That is a personal decision you have to make for yourself, man. The DPH squirrel thing was hilarious. Yeah, that was. Chris is so good with that stuff, like the metaphors. I love that show, Saturday. I love the DPHs. I love all the shows I do. It's so disappointing. Yeah. Obviously, political violence, if true, is stupid, but this whole thing's a distraction, and they're creating an excuse to point to for when they steal the elections. Gator Rob, there's usually a burning bag of dog shit involved in ding and dash. Oh yeah, somebody did call. I'll point this out too. Last thing I'll do, and I hate that I'm even spending any time on the Tim Pool thing, but we ended early, so Tim Pool, police. Somebody called here we go. This Adam the Great TV reached out to the sheriff regarding the alleged shooting incident at Tim Pool's property. The sheriff confirmed that there are no records of any such incident on file.
Yeah, hi. So my name is Adam. I go by Adam the Angler online. I run a very small content creator, accounts on X and YouTube and whatnot. Anyways, Tim Pool had put out a post on X on December 6th around 8 a.m. saying that there was a shooting that took place at his compound, I guess, his residence / business. I have a possible address but I'm not 100%, but I just wanted to call and just verify that he has contacted you guys, like he said, because something about this just doesn't add up to me. So yeah, I just wanted to see if he's being honest or not, basically.
The only shooting I'm aware of is the murder we had up on the mountain last month. I'm not aware of any other shootings.
Okay. Yeah, no one would have been hurt necessarily. He said in his post that it happened around 1 a.m. on the 6th of December, saying that someone approached his property and allegedly fired 3 shots. But then he said what's that?
What's his name?
Tim Pool. He's a fairly large content creator. He covers a lot of geopolitics.
So yeah, interesting stuff. Oh no, John, it's actually disappointing that your son didn't actually nerf you at 2 a.m. CC needs to make that happen. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna have to get him some more Nerf guns for the holidays. Anyway, yeah, Proof is on the other end of the phone. That's another great point. This guy could be told, you can't trust anybody. You can't trust me. You can't trust anybody. You can't trust. You shouldn't. Trust yourselves. First principles, guys. Trust in the Lord. Trust in your friends. Keep your circle small. And I think with that, I'm going to play our soft disclosure ad because I was talking to Ash the other day, and I don't think we've done a good enough job talking about soft disclosure. Like we preach about, you know, buy America first, right? America first products, America first businesses. Put your money where your morals are. And soft disclosure, the gal who makes our products, Annie, is an amazing woman. Farm in Colorado, Willow and Farms. She makes all the product. Superstar. She, America first, in America, right? She buys the material to make the product from people in her community. Like the coffee beans are from a coffee brewer down there. Or what do you call them? Brewmaster? Brew coffee? I don't know what you call them. But like it's like American coffee right next to Annie that she buys for some of the flavors and the scents. The goat milk farm right next door. Like all this stuff is American made. We're supporting like 3 or 4 every purchase of soft disclosure is supporting like 3 or 4 America first businesses. That is pretty cool. And you're also supporting Badlands Media in the process. And the products themselves are great. Beard oil, I got it on right now. If you're wondering why I look so good today, it's the beard oil probably. And if you were sitting next to me, you'd wonder why I'm smelling so good. And that's the deodorant, which again, deodorant MVP. We almost made it too good because like normally you want a product, you know, if I was trying to just shill you lotion, I'd want the product to run out as quick as possible so that you get more. But our deodorant lasts like 2 months. Coffee beanery, is that what it's called? Brewery? Roaster, that's what it is. Yeah, Annie is amazing. Oh, Spetzel, disappointed she canceled my order because she didn't actually have the inventory that I bought. Oh man. Which part did you order? 417 Patriot says, is there going to be a Badlands merch table at Kansas Reckoning event this weekend? Can't wait to see you guys. Putting in a Badlands order of soft disclosure right now, actually. I'm not bringing any merch down, but I'll be there. Anyway, guys, get yourself some soft disclosure, and I'm going to raid you guys over to Ghost. Hit that thumbs up. Follow the channel if you're new, and I will see you guys tomorrow right here on the Daily Herald at 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on Badlands Media. You guys have a great rest of your day.
Soft disclosure, just dropped new favorites for the season. The lotion, your 5-ounce favorite, is still here. And now we've added full 11-ounce bottles. New lavender tea tree deodorant, clean, calm, and effective. New tallow bars, chamomile lemon rose and naked. Rich moisture that actually works. And now the lineup is complete. Beard oil in unscented and spiced vanilla. Palo lip balms, available in chamomile mint, vanilla, naked, and vanilla tangerine. Palo bar minis for pocket-ready hydration. Available in vanilla coffee and naked. And finally, lavender vanilla lotion. Clean, calm, and made to work. Visit softdisclosure.com. Use code Badlands and get 15% off. Soft Disclosure, for truth you can gift.
0.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
2. 3. Let's get started.
That's what she said.
Oh, that's real good.
Why they stopping me? Stopping me.